Hello everybody and welcome to the Egypt versus Uruguay World Cup watch along. We are live. I hope you're all doing very well. Very excited to get this second World Cup game underway. And I can see we've got a few people joining in with us already. So please do share the video, get involved. Unfortunately, I know a lot of you may have things like work and school that get in the way of these 1 p.m. kickoffs. But these are the sort of work these are the kickoffs I've been looking forward to, if I'm really honest with you. It really gets you into that World Cup feeling, doesn't it? Whereby you've got games going on at lunchtime and things like that. And a big day ahead as well. We will be doing Morocco versus Iran and then Spain, Portugal tonight. Suarez versus Salah is what today was billed 4 weeks ago. Salah on the bench for Egypt. The team news going below for you, which I'll read out in a minute. But still some good players on both sides. Uruguay have got a very, very strong side. But yeah, the big one tonight is De Gea versus Ronaldo. That's the real battle. Of course it is. So, early bridge. Well, yeah, I know it's scheduled to start at 1 o'clock, but I always do come in a little bit earlier on these ones. This is the best time for Australia, says Christopher White. Yeah, what is it, about midnight there? The stadium apparently has 2 stands outside the stadium, says Douglas James Horn. Uruguay will destroy Egypt 5-0, says Fraser Dude. Well, for anybody, actually, you've just reminded me, thank you very much about that, Fraser. I will remind people of this during the show, but if you do want to play in our World Cup Predictor League, there's only been 1 game, so it doesn't matter. I mean, you literally get... 1 person got 3 points, which was a correct score yesterday. They did predict 5-0 to Russia, but everybody else has only got 1 point because you just get... So basically what it works is, if you'd gone for Russia to win 2-0 yesterday like I did, you get 1 point because Russia won. If you'd gone 5-0, you get 3 points because they won and you got the score right as well. So loads of people in our league at the moment only have 1 point. And there's loads and loads of games, so there's still plenty of time for you to catch up. So the link's in the video description for that. It's through Super Brew, it's free to play, and if you use that link, you will go into our big league, which we're going to keep talking about throughout the World Cup. So free to play, link in the video description to do that, and you've got plenty of time still to sign up and get your score predictions in. I think I'll tell you what mine was once the game's kicked off. The real question is, will Suarez be the secret goalkeeper, says Christopher White. I mean, Suarez is just such a likeable bloke, isn't he? He's such a likeable bloke. I'm joking. He's not likeable at all. But when you look at this Uruguayan team, as I'll go through it. So, let me have a quick look. Yeah, Muslera in goal. Varela used to be at Manchester United. Right back, Godin and Jimenez, both know those from Atletico Madrid. And Caceres, who is, I believe he's at Lazio. Nandez, Boca Juniors. Vecino, Inter Milan. Bantanca is a Juventus player. Di Arrascaeta, I don't know where he's from. I think he may be a local lad, not Birmingham. Cavani and obviously Suarez in goals. Suarez in goal. You got me at it now, Christopher. Suarez. It's a very strong team. If we talk about Uruguay for a moment, that midfield is very good. Bentanca, I'm probably pronouncing him wrong. He's very highly thought of. It's Juventus, a very, very good player. Torreira is, I believe, on the bench, who is a player that Arsenal are interested in. The centre-backs, Godin and Jimenez, they play together at club level and they're very, very good. Arguably the strongest centre-back pairing in the tournament. Although, keep an eye out for Morocco later. Benatia, they've got a very good defence as well. And then you've got Suarez and Cavani, haven't you? It just completes a very, very, very good team. And yes, they will be favourites to get out of this group. And Egypt may well have their work cut out. I mean, I already predict Egypt-Russia, 7 o'clock Tuesday night, is going to be a big, big game, especially if Uruguay win this game. Russia have won. Egypt will need something against the hosts, Russia, on Tuesday night. So that game could be very, very interesting indeed. But for Uruguay, they'll fancy their chances in this game. In relation to Egypt, let me just read their team out. Al-Shawani, Falhi, Gabber, Hegassi, who's a West Brom, Shafi, Al-Nini, who is Arsenal, Hamed, Ward, Al Said, Trezeguet and Mossan. So Egypt, again, look, this is not Saudi Arabia, Russia. This is a step up today. And it is a step up in the direction of talent and ability. Russia, I think, we'll see how good Russia are. But Uruguay are a very, very good side and they will give it a real good go today. Obviously, missing Salah is important for them. And they obviously would have liked to have had Mo Salah today. But they've still got real quality. Yes, they got through with a late goal, but they are a good side. They've got good quality, and it's not easy to come through the African qualifiers. So they've done well, and they will do well. Lots of people joining in, which is great. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Please do share the video, drop a like and subscribe if you're new. We are doing watch-alongs for every single World Cup game. We've got me and Xander getting involved in this. So, yeah, very, very, very much looking forward to it. And I'm very, very pleased to have you all here as well. Yes, and the stream seems to be working absolutely perfectly well as well, which is great. Idiot Goldbridge yesterday decided to try and stream in 4K. And that caused a lot of issues with lag. So there we go. There we have it. What's your score prediction, Mark? Says Daniel Roberts. I'm going to keep quiet on my score prediction for now because there will be people who are still going to enter our World Cup Predictor League, which you can do through the link in the video description, and it's free to play. And I don't want to give you my tips away before the kickoff. Jared says, well, some very positive news. I read De Gea seems to be about to sign a 5-year new deal at Manchester United. That is positive, Jared. I hadn't read that myself, but that is very, very positive news for Manchester United. I think the fact that Real Madrid look like they're going to sign the Brazilian goalkeeper, Alisson, really does probably mean that's going to happen. Sarpreet, you can have a shout out, but stop typing it. Hello everyone, says Benny Hunai. Yeah, let us know where you're watching from, everybody. We've got over 400 people watching. We had a really good stream yesterday, and I think we're going to have a good game today. Really good games to come up. I think a lot of people think Morocco-Iran's a boring game. I think it's an interesting game, and obviously Spain-Portugal tonight. What a game that's going to be. 7 o'clock kickoff UK time. Iran-Morocco 4 o'clock UK time, and 1 o'clock UK time here is Egypt against Uruguay, the second World Cup game. Very, very excited about this one. Bring it on, I say. Who am I looking forward to seeing in this match? What a good question that is from the Varsity Villain V2. I don't like Uruguay because of Suarez, but I do like Uruguay for everybody else. So it's difficult because I like Uruguay, but I don't like Suarez. Egypt, I'd love to see Egypt do well. I think I want Egypt to win this game. Yeah, I think who are we going for? I think I want Egypt to win, just simply because I don't like Suarez. Iran's going to surprise everybody, says Jake Bullman. I hope they do. You know, it's only the second game, but I hope we do get some surprises in this tournament. It'd be absolutely brilliant. Benny's watching from Melbourne. Hello. Slain in Ireland, says Mark J. Went to a very good concert there once. You too. The band. And Salford for Phil Foster. Egypt for Black Witch 990. Up the Egypt. And Tunisia, says W4EL. Well, join us on Monday night then if you're watching from Tunisia, because I am doing the England versus Tunisia game. This match, this stadium has got temporary stands, apparently. Yes, I can see they're behind the goal, aren't they? Behind that goal there. It's hard to tell if it's a sellout or not. Pan round, let's have a look. I think all the corporate seats aren't full yet. No, there's quite a few empty seats. There are quite a few empty seats for this one. That's going to happen though. You're going to get that in the World Cup. I'm not too surprised to see that. Egypt to win 2-1, says Christopher White. All they have to do is beat Suarez in goal. Will be difficult to get a goal past him though. And why is the stand so long, says Hans. Apparently they've built temporary stands behind the normal stands in certain areas. Where is this one being played at? That's something in my ignorance I haven't looked at. El Nini's a player to watch out for Egypt. Arsenal lad. Martin, thank you very much. And Uruguay are going to win, says Keita and Fabinho apologist. Masulo is behind Egypt. Come on, Paraguay, win me this, says Tyler Cole. Paraguay ain't playing. I thought El Shawari played for Egypt, says Clash Wars. Well, there's a couple of players. He may well be on the bench because there's the Villa lad, isn't there? Is it El Mohammadi? He's on the bench. He's part of the squad. 3-1 Egypt to lose, says Martin. And are you a fan of Salah, says Jiggle Giggle. I know Mo Salah plays for Liverpool, but you know what? I think he's a very likeable person. I don't like Liverpool because I'm a Manchester United fan, and Liverpool fans... I think it's nice with the temporary stands, what they've done here behind both goals. They're just showing a pan up there. It's like a circle, the pitch, the stadium, and then they've got the two temporary stands, which I think's a good idea. It's a good idea, isn't it? Do I like Salah? Look, Liverpool fans don't like Manchester United. Manchester United fans don't really like Liverpool. So I haven't got an issue with that at all. Do I like Mo Salah? Yes, I do. I think Mo Salah was Player of the Year last season comfortably in the Premier League. He comes across as a nice bloke. The only issue for me is that he plays for a rival Liverpool. But I hope he does well. If it's Suarez versus Salah, I'd go Salah. They've both got Liverpool connections, obviously, but I don't like Suarez. I just don't. I can't help it. But I do like the Uruguayan team. I think Uruguay. Let's see how they get on. Nobody's mentioned Uruguay as an outside bet to win the World Cup, yet people are talking. I've mentioned maybe Colombia, Mexico, teams like that. Uruguay have got a very good team. Why are Uruguay not being mentioned as a potential winner of this tournament? I don't know. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. We are going to be doing every single match as a watch along on this channel. And we've got 2 more games to come today. We're doing Morocco, Iran, and then the big one tonight, Spain versus Portugal. So make sure you're joining Xander for that. Did anybody watch Xander's video on this channel last night, the Griezmann decision? I just thought it was brilliant when I watched it back this morning, because obviously we thought Griezmann was going to announce what was happening at 8:15. I don't think anybody realised there was going to be a 45-minute documentary. So watching Xander in the live comments for 45 minutes was just hilarious as more and more clips came out about what Griezmann was doing. So you've got a little bit of Xander later on. Do get involved with that for Morocco, Iran and Egypt. Sorry, I'm doing Egypt. Spain, Portugal tonight. But it's all about you in the live comments. That's what these watch-alongs are all about. So do get involved and have your say throughout, and we'll keep an eye. A couple of players to keep an eye on. I'm going to say number 6 for Uruguay, which is Bentancur, if that's how you pronounce it, and also number 17 for Egypt, Al Nani, who plays for Arsenal. Hegassi plays for West Brom at the moment as well. But there's a lot of good players in that Uruguay team, and also keep an eye out for number 4, right back Varela, formerly of Manchester United. Hans says, "Oh my God, Hegassi is playing." Yeah, he is. Right, let's have a quick look here at the timer. Make sure I've got the timer going up for you, because we will be kicking off very, very soon. Let me get that timer there. It's not 50 minutes into the game yet. I'm just changing it around for you. Okay, chrono. Okay. So captains are just exchanging armbands at the moment. Pankaj is having a cup of tea and biscuits. Why don't you do Spain versus Portugal? Says Foot 6. I might do it, but I have got a commitment tonight. I mean, the reality is, if you think about the World Cup, there are so many games going on in the World Cup, and to sit and be able to do absolutely every single one of them would be quite difficult for me. I'm going to be watching every game, but to be able to stream every game is a little bit difficult. So we have got Xander. Xander is a big part of the channel. Xander makes me laugh. I think Xander's fantastic. So do support the channel and get involved. The reality is, whether it's me or Xander sat here, or whether we get somebody else to do some, which we're planning on doing as well, the stars of the show are you. It's your comments and it's your interaction. I was laughing yesterday just reading some of the conversations that were going on during the the Russia Saudi Arabia game, and I want to see some of that banter going on again, because that's why we're doing it. If you're not subscribed to That's Football, get involved with it, because it really is all about your interaction and banter through the game. And there will be games where I think, Spain, Portugal tonight, will be keeping a lot of eye on the game, because it'll be very intriguing. Yesterday, not so much so. Even though it was 5-0, we were watching the game, but we're also having a lot of interaction as well, and that is what it's all about. So we're about to kick off in this one. Please do share the video as well underneath the video. Please do share it and get as many people involved as possible. We want to build a big community over this World Cup, and wherever you're from, everybody, you are all very, very, very welcome. And yeah, let's have a quick look there. I'm just waiting for kick-off, and then I'll start the timer for you. Okay. Yeah, here we go, folks. So the second World Cup game is about to start. It's Uruguay kicking from right to left, and we are up and running with game number 2. Right, I can tell you now, my score prediction in this game is, wait for it, 2-1. I've gone 2-1 to Egypt. Uruguay. That's my Super Brew predictor. 2-1 to Uruguay. Anthony Muller quite likes the stadium. I'd like to see it full, but let's see how we get on this 1 p.m. kickoff. Christopher White's just asked me, do I think this will be one of the best World Cups? You know what, Christopher? Ask me at the end of the quarterfinals, because the group stage can be fantastic, and then everyone goes through to the knockout stage and they start playing really cagey, and it can ruin what you think is going to be a good tournament. Martin has shared the video. Thanks for that. If you want to share the video, just below the video you'll see a share button. So if you're on Twitter and Facebook, all you've got to do is click share and it shares the video out. So thanks for that. Let's grow this That's Football community. Really want to have a fantastic World Cup of interaction and banter and joy. The first game that really matters, well, the game that matters to me the most will be the England game. So I apologise for what I might be on those. But everything else, it's just a football tournament of the best teams in the world. And I love me football, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. So it's just enjoyable just to sit back and see how it goes. But Egypt are on the defence at the moment, and it's Uruguay just knocking the ball around nicely. And they might just get it clear here, Egypt. It'll be interesting to see how Egypt get on in this game, because Uruguay have got the more recognisable names. They've got the pedigree. Egypt, not many people are going to know a lot about it. Nicky Collis is going 3-0 to Uruguay. Matthew McFadden saying Egypt are a one-man team. Lysander's talking about Ronaldo tonight. I think it's going to be very interesting. I do think Spain will win tonight. I think it's a very interesting game, though, because they obviously Portugal are the European Championship holders. So it'll be interesting to see what Portugal are like. Portugal tend to turn up at tournaments, and you'll know all the players, but you don't really know how they work as a team. So it'll be interesting to see how Portugal get on. I'd like Portugal to win. I prefer Portugal to Spain. I feel sorry for the Spanish manager as well. I sort of don't want Spain to do very well, because I think that the way they've treated that manager isn't right. All right, he's going to Real Madrid. Bobby Robson did that before the 1990 World Cup. He was going to PSV afterwards, and everybody knew it, but he still took England to the semi-finals. So I think that was a little bit naughty. Maria says that he's on the bench, Andrew Ellis. I presume you might be talking about Salah. Of course, if Egypt can stay in this game until about 60-70 minutes and then bring Salah on for the last 20, it makes it a little bit interesting. Cavani just took a tackle there from Hamed, and he's clutching his ankle, but it didn't look like it was too much in it. This is a good game, though, today, isn't it? I'm getting really buzzed about this World Cup now. This is a really good game today with some really talented players. And I like the look of this lad already. Number 8, Nandez. He plays for Boca Juniors. I think it's number 8 anyway. It might be 6. It's hard to tell. I don't watch it on HD because it's delayed if you watch it on HD. So Varela there, formerly of United, playing at right back. You know, a lot of people are saying what went wrong with Varela at Manchester United. How come he's playing for Uruguay? But keep your eye on him. I mean, I've seen a lot of United fans yesterday saying, and Arsenal fans as well, and some Chelsea fans, got to sign Golovin, he's brilliant. And he looks a good player, but you've got to judge him in the latter stages of this tournament or against Uruguay. Saudi Arabia were rubbish. They were absolutely rubbish. I mean, it would have been like putting MK Dons against Russia. I think MK Dons would beat Saudi Arabia. That's how bad they were. So Golovin getting a couple of assists and a goal is great, but you can't say, oh, let's sign him up for your club just based on that. Declan Murphy, we're doing every single game on this channel as a watch along, so just keep tuning. If there's a World Cup game, tune in, get involved on the live comments. Andrew Ellis said he liked Varela at United. You know what, Andrew, I'm going to be a little bit not controversial and say I couldn't give two hoots about Varela leaving Manchester United, because we got rid of a very good right back that was far better than him, and that was Raphael. That was the worst one. Varela did go on loan, DJ Doyle B, but then I think he plays in Uruguay now. Tell you what, I agree. I like this stadium as well. I like those temporary stands. Aesthetically very pleasing, but awful ball from Suarez there. So we're 5 minutes in, and it's not been it's a different game to yesterday where it was all Russia. I mean, Egypt have clearly got some ability in their technique, and bit of a dangerous ball out the back there, but Suarez is pushing his team up. Douglas says that Martin Caceres signed for Southampton last season, I think. I believe he's still at Lazio, but I may be wrong. Douglas just said he may be wrong as well. Jay Hart says there's no way that Salah will come on. He'll be too scared of Suarez biting his injured shoulder. But Egypt knocking the ball around nicely. El Nini getting involved, and I think Arsenal fans will like that because he's pass and go. And I don't know whether we've got any Arsenal fans. I don't keep track of Arsenal anymore because they're not a threat. But did he play much last season? And Matthew McFadden's right. For anybody asking about watching the game, as Matthew said, it's illegal to stream football matches online. This is where we all watch the games on our own and discuss the events as they happen, interact with the live comments. Yeah, this is a watch-along. This is what we do on That's Football. It's a watch-along. So you may be watching the game. I'm certainly watching the game. But we can't show you the game. So we're all just like, a lot of people will watch a lot of World Cup games, won't they? If you want to sit and watch them on your own, that's fine. Or you can watch them with the stream going, interacting with loads of people who are watching the game. So it's basically a live chat interaction thing while the game is on. And you don't have to listen to silly... you can react and discuss the events, can't you? Whether you think it's a penalty, you're part of the discussion effectively. Dr. Chunky Biscuit says, what's your favourite meal of all time? Oh, I like that one. I'll chuck mine in. Everyone else can chuck theirs in. My favourite meal is probably, and it's got to be a good one, a lasagna. I like shredded carrot in my lasagna, but I've got Italian roots. But lasagna is very good. Although, I've got to shout out to my other half last night. The dinner she made was absolutely fantastic. I think it was from a Gordon Ramsay cookbook, but it was tuna steaks with new potatoes, tomato, runner beans, a lovely salad, which in itself I'd find a little bit bland. But it was the sauce that came with it. It was a blended sauce of black olives, anchovies, balsamic vinegar, garlic, and obviously salt and pepper. And it just took it from a nice dinner to an absolutely stunning dinner. I actually said, I would rather eat this than a Chinese or fish and chips, it was just absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Charlie Collins likes a Sunday roast. Alan likes a beef stroganoff, yes. Cavani's just had a shot there. Quite low. Keeper's got it down to his right from the edge of the box, the shot, but didn't really connect with it. But the first shot in anger there, and Egypt keeper's just bouncing the ball, like saying, is that all you got? But comfortable save for the keeper. Chicken broccoli Alfredo, says Tyler Freitas. That sounds good. Pasta bake, says Kay Horsley. I'm liking all these. And my favourite meal is pav bhaji, says Pravin Borka. And Jay King says, this isn't Ready, Steady, Cook, talk about the football. This is what we do on That's Football, though. We interact, and as I said yesterday, people can interact on the live comments as well. But at the moment, it's not a lot to report. Cavani obviously had that shot. But Egypt have retained the ball quite well, and it's pretty much end-to-end without any creativity. Good defensive play there, wins a goal kick from, I think it was Godin, yeah. Cottage pie, says Ian Turlington, back of the net. You can't beat a good Sunday roast. Declan Murphy's right, especially if... but what Sunday roast? I like a pork roast with a bit of crackling, applesauce and stuffing. Roast chicken, bit of bread sauce, roast beef, horseradish, some good dinners. Anyway, we've got a nice little shot there of the temporary stand looking down. Behind the goal. I hate sitting behind the goal. I hate sitting behind the goal. Always like to be on the sides. Golden Boot winner, says Anthony Muller. Well, this keeps coming up, and the Golden Boot winner will obviously be somebody who is going to be playing latter in the tournament, or later, as I like to say. And I think that you can't go much... I think Lukaku's got a chance. I don't think anyone from France will get it. It could be somebody from this group, because Saudi Arabia, there's goals in that. Suarez has got a chance if he can get a couple here today, or just get himself going. And there's or Cavani, there's opportunities to get goals against Saudi Arabia, and Golden Boot winner can be fortuitous because it depends on your opposition. If every game you play in the World Cup's tough, then you're going to find it hard to win a Golden Boot, aren't you? But Ted J says Muller. I think Timo Werner's probably got a better chance than Muller, but Muller does tend to do quite well for Germany. He's got a very, very good goal record, hasn't he? It's always the Germans as well. Remember Klose? He used to score loads as well. Oh, dunked Chunky Biscuit. Is that true? Leslie Grantham. It must be because he's coming up as a top thing. Egypt on the attack here. Cross comes in. Well cleared. El Nini's on the edge of the box though. I mean, Egypt have given a good account of themselves. And they've got a shot away there. Good shot from Trezeguet. And probably a similar sort of shot to Cavani really. Didn't really connect it, but made the goalkeeper work a little bit. So, interesting start to this game. Brandon B is rooting for Egypt. It's been an interesting game, this. I think it could be quite a tight game. I think anybody who went over 2 goals is going to struggle. Baron Death says, is Suarez playing? He is. But Egypt's probably impressing people a little bit more than you may have predicted, really. James for Golden Boot again, says Douglas James Horn. I think Colombia are in a quite a tough group though, aren't they? Senegal, Japan, Poland. There's no real whipping boy in that. I'm looking forward to watching those games, Colombia actually. That's Monday, isn't it, I think? He goes to the World Cup planner. Yeah, Colombia, Japan, 1 o'clock. I'll be there for that one. That's one of mine. No, it's Tuesday, Colombia. They're the last group. Yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. Guitar Man 96 is putting stickers in his World Cup book whilst watching the game and the stream. There's Suarez. Side didn't connect well with it. Cut back. Well within the box to the right hand side. Cut back from the right. I think it was... I think it's Varela who puts the cross in, to be fair. He'd have been on an assist there, but Suarez doesn't connect with that at all. You know Suarez and his little bandage around the thing, is it just some sort of superstitious thing with that? Because it looks silly. Prediction on Australia versus France is Capas. I know the Aussies are the underdogs, but do you think they have a chance? Much love from Australia. I know nothing about Australia, so let us know in the live comments. I know Christopher White's from over there. I mean, without getting romantic about it, realistically, how good are Australia? What are your best players? Have you got a chance in a game like that? I'd like to think so. I'd love to see a shock like that. I mean, I've got to be honest. I mean, if France win the World Cup, fair play, but I'm not a massive fan of France. And that is... If Martial had been part of it, I think I would have been. But I know they've got Pogba, and I want Pogba to light this tournament up and sit a lot of people down. But I've gone right off Griezmann. I've got to be honest. I wonder why I've gone off Griezmann. And I don't like Deschamps. So I'm not massively into France, to be honest. If they win it, great. And you know what? I'm fairly neutral in this tournament, and I just hope if somebody turns up and wins it, great. Here we go, Egypt. Oh, get a foul, ref. Come on. Yes, he's given it. Ward fouled there by, I think that was by Bentancur, wasn't it? Or was it Nandiz? No, it was Bentancur. 1-1 Australia-France, says Lich. Who's going to win, Portugal or Spain, says Declan Murphy. Well, you get it's not just about me. Get your comments in with each other on there. Remember, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're going to try and get to 35,000 over this weekend. Might be a big ask, but if you enjoy the channel, please do share it and subscribe and get involved and spread the word. But I've got a free kick here for Egypt. Kieran Burns says the tape around his wrists are for support. He might have had a wrist or thumb injury. Yeah, but he's always got it. Cross comes in, headed back, and they've got it out. But Egypt, I think, have been very impressive in this game so far. Without Suarez, I mean, this is without their star player as well. They've done okay. As I said, I think Egypt-Russia on Tuesday night is going to be a cracker. I really do. Matthew McFadden says there's no chance of the Aussies getting out of the group. Would like to be proven wrong though. And Josh O'Connor says if Tim Cahill scores in this World Cup, he'll match Pele for consecutive goals at World Cup 4. Does that mean that Cahill is as good as Pele? France is a complete team, says Just Sheldon. Well, they're not. They're not a complete team because they don't actually do that well and they've got a clown as a manager. Mark Young says he went 3-1 to Uruguay in Super Brew. What do you think? I already think it's going to be a little bit tighter than that this game. I mean, we're only 15 minutes in, but it doesn't look like Egypt are that, they're certainly no Saudi Arabia. They're quite well organised, so I don't think that's going to be the case. I may be totally wrong, but I've been very impressed with Egypt so far. Uruguay seemed... I mean, somebody just said there, what's your problem with Uruguay? Or what's the problem with Uruguay? I think Uruguay are just not really bridging the gap between defence and midfield that well. You've got Cavani and Suarez coming down into the midfield area way too much, which is leaving it very easy for Egypt just to stand their ground. And they're not getting in behind the Egyptian defence at all. And which is similar to the way Uruguay like to set up. They play quite a deep line because Godin and Jimenez... obviously very experienced with their Atletico Madrid days. So, and Egypt, to be honest, are probably winning the midfield battle at the moment. So that's my sort of thoughts on the game so far. I think Egypt have really impressed me. You've got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You've got to so fast. What's that link you've just sent us in the group chat, Jared? Multitasking here. Singing for England. England not playing until Monday night, of course. Really looking forward to that. That'll be an interesting watch along for you. Suarez the best striker, says Red Manchester. Masira is a quality goalkeeper. We're good with his feet. Would like to see him in the Premier League. Yeah, he's at Galatasaray, isn't he, Ed Woodward? They've got a very, very good defence, Uruguay. Very, very good. Full-backs, all right, they're maybe not at the level of the goalkeeper and the centre-backs, but it's you've got a good defence. You can build on that. And they're doing very well. We've got 730 people watching at the moment. If you are new, please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, that's Football, the fan channel for everybody to get involved in. Doesn't matter who you support, where you're from. Everybody's welcome. Just get involved in the debate, in the live comments, and enjoy the World Cup with us. We're not just about the World Cup. Obviously, we do a transfer daily at midday, and during the normal season, we tend to pick a couple of games a week where we'll just do a watch along as well. So everybody's welcome. If you love your football, that's Football is the place to be. So please do subscribe, and also please share it. Let's see if we can get over 1,000 people watching, which I think for a 1 o'clock kickoff UK time would be immense if we can get over 1,000 people watching. We haven't done that on a World Cup watch along yet, and I know I guarantee Xander will do it tonight for Spain, Portugal. So it'd be nice if I could get over 1,000. Gavin Squires just asked a good question. Who do you think's the biggest shock player to be left out of the World Cup? For me, the top three might be Nainggolan at Belgium. I mean, how? I'll come back to that. And then obviously Martial for France. I wouldn't say it was a shock. I just think he should have gone. I think he's better than Lamar. And also, I think he's had a better season than Bele. But that's probably why Martial wants to leave United, because it's Mourinho who messed him up with that. And then obviously Leroy Sané. I don't support Man City, but a bit like Salah at Liverpool, Sané's, you can't hide from the fact that they're good players. So I think Sané should have gone. I really do. And I think the player that they took instead of him, Brandt, who is very good, he's not on the level of Sané. So I don't know why that's happened. It was an odd one. But in relation to Belgium, they're sort of like a B-Tech France, really. They've got a very, very good squad and a very, very bad manager. But the interesting thing about Belgium that I just cannot understand is Nainggolan is a fantastic midfielder, and he's a leader, and he's got the aggression, and it would have been his last World Cup. He must be gutted. And then you look at who they have taken. I mean, Fellaini, all right, he gives you a different option. But also, the amount of players Belgium have taken who play in the Chinese league, Carrasco, Witsel, it's just a joke. I think if you go and play in the Chinese league, you shouldn't be playing in the World Cup unless you are a nation that's not got many players. Because Belgium have got loads and loads of players playing in the top leagues in Europe. I wouldn't take Carrasco or Witsel. If they want to go and play in China and earn loads of money in a pub league, I wouldn't take them. Good tackle there. Uruguay in the attack. Cavani into the box. Good volley. Good header. I don't think it was going in. He's on the volley there. On his left foot, Cavani. He's shooting towards the bottom corner. It's Gabba who heads it up over as it comes towards his head. I think the keeper had it covered, but I would like to see it. It was a good connection by Cavani. Just on the edge of the box. Yeah, I think keeper had that more than covered, to be fair, but it's gone for a corner. Joachim Low must be insane, says Josh O'Connor. Yeah, good one. Good one, Josh. Here we go, Uruguay. 1-0. Suarez. Offside. Or foul. He can't be offside. Basically flicked on, and Suarez is on the back post unmarked in the 6-yard box. Steers it home with his foot instead of his teeth or his hand. But I think it must be a handball because it can't be an offside. Oh no, it didn't go in. Oh my God. It's not offside. He didn't put it in. It went wide. It hit the side netting. I thought it had gone in the goal. What a wally. Matthew McFadden has there. It was side netting. Everyone thought he'd scored, me included, but it went into the side netting, so it wasn't offside. It was a terrible miss. A terrible miss. I was thinking, how can he be offside? He should have scored, says Cato and Fabino apologist. Joshu says, thoughts on the new Oasis share bottles? Are they the ones where it's got two ends? Douglas says, Martinez not taking Nainggolan is absolutely idiotic. Nainggolan's a player I would take at my club, my domestic club, Manchester United. So to not take him in a national team just seems very weird. Surprise player to do well in the World Cup, Gavin Squires. Well, if anybody knows me from the United stand, you'll know that in the summer we do lots of transfer videos and we just talk about all news because I'm very interested in transfers and educating myself. And 2 years ago I did a video. I was down in London on a course, probably about 2 years ago exactly. And we were linked to Hirving Lozano, and he's a cracking... He was in Mexico then. Obviously he plays for Mexico. He's now at PSV. I think he's a fantastic player, and I've been on about him for a long time. It's a bit like, when you discover a band before they go big. Like, I think Lozano could be a candidate. Depends how well Mexico do. But good chance that for Uruguay. They should have been 1-0 up. I'm really looking forward to that game on Sunday, actually, Germany-Mexico. As I'll keep saying, I'm going for the... wouldn't say I'm going for the underdog. I just want somebody who's good to win it, who's never won it before, which is a big ask because I think experience in tournaments is always a big thing. Egypt's on the attack here. Another shot, turn and shot by Massan. Good work by Ward at number 22. I think he's been impressive. I've been impressed with Egypt. I mean, if you think about it, if this was just Egypt's starting team, you'd say, yeah, Uruguay have got the better quality. They're starting to shade it a little bit. But let's not forget, Egypt haven't got Salah either. So that's another gear Egypt have got. Some people might say 2 gears. So I've been impressed with Egypt. Quality of Uruguay starting to shine out a little bit at the moment, but 26 minutes, still 0-0. Salah's on the bench, Veli Southwood. Pogba West says that the Independent have said that De Gea will sign a new deal. Good. Yashrib says he's on France's side for the World Cup. Well, we've all got our favourites. I mean, forget your favourites then. Who do you want to win this World Cup? Who do you want to win the World Cup? Don't say who you think's going to win it. Who do you want to win the World Cup? Realistically as well. I mean, obviously, if you're from Australia, you're probably going to say Australia, and you've got 0 chance. Same as me saying England. But apart from obviously England, I'd love to see a Colombia or a Mexico win the World Cup. Or even more far-fetched, I think I'd love to see an African team win it. I think it'd be great for football in a time especially where international football and FIFA has had all this corruption issues. I think it would be so good for the sport if a team won it who's never won it before. Egypt on the attack here though. They've got Uruguay pegged back. 22 putting the cross in. Keeper's going to come and get that one. See, this is the thing, Uruguay, they've got that platform to build upon. I have been impressed. I did say Bentancur, didn't I? Number 6, plays for Juventus for Uruguay. He's looked very good. Very, physical player, tall player, running the midfield. He's done very well. See what I mean, though? I mean, I was speaking about this on the United Stand this morning about Milinkovic-Savic potentially going to Juventus. And I've always watched a lot of Italian football, basically a legacy of the Italia 90 World Cup, where Channel 4 started showing Serie A football on Channel 4. A speculative shot there from Vecino, who's, funnily enough, fits in. Wide it was. He plays for Inter. But yeah, I said this last night. The Italian league has had a bit of a bad time of it over the last 10 years in relation to not really being that competitive in Europe and money issues. But one thing the Italian league's very good at is retaining its players. A lot of players will move between clubs rather than leave Italy, whether they're Italian or not. But they're also very good at, especially South Americans, bringing in South American talent, Argentinian, Brazilian, Uruguay. They're very, very good at it. And if you look at this Uruguay team, all right, their centre-backs play in La Liga, but you've got Bentancur at Juventus, you've got Caceres, who's the full left-back, who's at Lazio, Inter Milan with Vecino, Cavani was in Italy. They're very good at picking up South American talent. I think Serie A's on its way back again as well. I mean, I've stuck with it. I like it. You are a product of what your youth is, and the Italian. I know La Liga wins all the Champions Leagues now, but when I was growing up, yes, you had your Premier, you had your domestic league, but the one that was the romantic league that you looked at from abroad was always Serie A. That was where all the best players were when I was growing up. So, always kept an eye on it, and it'd be nice for it to come back. And I think it will come back. There seems to be money going in there again, and there's a lot of good players playing in that league. I mean, just going back to what somebody said there, I know it's not Argentina, it's Uruguay, but Icardi should have gone to the World Cup as well. Darren Sweetman says it's a poor game. I've quite enjoyed it, Darren, to be honest. I think it's a step up from yesterday. All right, we haven't had the goals, but we had the goals yesterday because Saudi Arabia was so bad. I think Egypt have been better than a lot of people thought they were going to be, and that has stunted Uruguay a little bit. And Egypt have had a go in this game, and they've not... they're up against a very good Uruguayan defence. So it's been a good game. It's been a good game. We Channel 4 Serie A, says Will Graham. Midfields are battling quite well. Suarez has got a free kick here, about 35 yards out, very, very central. He's definitely going to take a pop at it. Kieran Burns right, Juventus do always do very good business. I mean, if they get Milinkovic, Savic and Golovin. Suarez, is he going to shoot or is he going to dink it? He shoots straight into the wall. And they've still got it, Uruguay. Cross comes in, keeper's got hold of it. He didn't score the free kick, Zayed, I'm sorry. He said, I'm calling it now. Suarez is going to score the free kick. He didn't. Even Nolan says, do you want to see Ashley Young or Danny Rose starting at left back? Oh, even as a United fan, I've got to say Danny Rose. Ashley Young's just not a left back, so I'll give it Danny Rose. Baron Death, are you saying that with a straight face? He says England could go all the way, to be honest. He's got to be joking. A draw benefits Russia, says Just Sheldon. And Tony Francis says that Real Madrid have signed 18-year-old Brazilian Rodrigo for 63 million. The new Neymar, thoughts? I think United were tentatively linked to him, but again, this is just typical, isn't it? You know, I mean, the next Neymar, how many people are the next Neymar, to be honest? But good battling there from Egypt. They've battled well in this game. One thing Uruguay are is very, very physical and very, very tough, and Egypt to be battling against them is very... I'm impressed with Egypt. The temptation has got to be to try and get Salah on the pitch. But if they can keep it 0-0, or even if they were 1-0 down, you'd bring him on, wouldn't you? Because with Russia winning so well yesterday, that puts pressure onto Egypt, because 5-0, it's the goal difference that becomes the problem. Yes, Russia beating Saudi Arabia, it's probably not a surprise, but the 5-0 in a group stage where Uruguay are the favourites, Egypt, if they can get something here today, would be absolutely fantastic for them. Aaron Chen says, do you think Rashford and Lingard will start for England? I think Lingard definitely will. I've got a funny feeling Rashford won't. Because where will he start, Rashford? It'll be Kane and Sterling, won't it? Jack Jones says it's been a better game than I thought. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. And this is what the World Cup's all about. It's not... I suppose it's all about how you interpret football, isn't it? I mean, some people judge a good game by... Yeah, it's like... They'll say it on Match of the Day, won't we? Oh, loads of 0-0s. Well, when you want to show highlights, 0-0s aren't great. But when you're actually watching a game, a 0-0 first half can be better than a 4-0 first half, because if the football's good and it's competitive and you're actually engrossed in the game, I don't mind 0-0. I've enjoyed this first half an hour of this game. But if goals is what you want, then maybe you're a little bit bored. Salish says that Egypt are playing really well. I've been very impressed with them. Very impressed. I think it will open up in the second half, Saeed. Yeah, I agree. Jake Bullman says, when will Manchester United's next signing be? Well, probably Fred, because he's not officially signed yet. Robert Snodgrass for the Golden Boot. What country does Snodgrass play for? If he even is in the World Cup. Douglas says that Suarez doesn't look right. Might be carrying an injury. Cameron Marsh says Egypt are lacking the quality in the final third. We know where that quality comes from. And to be fair to Egypt, Egypt could be Brazil. It wouldn't matter. Salah's one of the best players in the world at the moment, so Brazil would miss him. So this constant mentioning of Salah for Egypt, I mean, of course they're going to miss him. They haven't got strength in depth of that quality. So, but any team would miss Mo Salah. It'd be like England, wouldn't it? You know, if England didn't have their start, you know, Harry Kane or whatever. It's and we've got way more depth than Egypt. Cross coming in here, and keeper's got it again. Quality in the final third's been Uruguay's problem as well. I think both teams have struggled for quality in the final third. Mick Deb, yeah, they're missing some bite, aren't they? Uruguay in that final third. Ba-dum-dum. Kevin Lopez says he's ready for Portugal v Spain. Come on, Portugal. Yeah, remember we are covering all games again today and tomorrow. There's 4 games tomorrow. It starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. We've got France, Australia. Then it's Egypt, Iceland, which I think is 2 o'clock. 5 o'clock is Denmark, Peru. And then 8 o'clock it's Croatia versus Nigeria. So 4 games tomorrow, 3 on Sunday. 2 more after this one today. You've got Iran. Good run this by Godin. He's come out the back. Took out a midfielder as well. Where's the final ball? Good final ball. Terrible first touch there from, I think it was number 10, De Arascota. But it was a good run from Godin. Came out from the back. Runs towards the penalty box. Slips in De Arascota, and his first touch is dreadful. What a shame that was. Final ball's just not there for Uruguay, says Douglas. What was that touch, says Mr. ASJ. What was that touch? Egypt's bossing the midfield, says David Tapgun. I agree, David. I think they have. Bantanka has done quite well, though. Bantanka, sorry. For Uruguay, number 6. Looks a good player. When I say he looks a good player, that doesn't mean any Premier League team should go and buy him. He's a good player in the context of this game and Serie A. I think he'd be a little bit too slow for the Premier League. Iceland are playing Argentina tomorrow by Goins Jeff at 2 o'clock UK time. France, Australia is 11 o'clock UK time tomorrow. So if you're watching all 4 games tomorrow, like I am, fair play. Hats off. I'm not doing all the streams tomorrow though. Xander's doing a couple and I'm doing a couple tomorrow. We are sharing it out just to keep it fresh. I do watch all the games though. And when people say, well, if you're watching it, why don't you do a stream? I'll tell you what, when you do a live stream, I'll tell you now, the interaction, the watching of the game, the keeping your eye on the comments, it is quite draining. So, yeah, you've got to keep it fresh. Dalot or Dalu is not in the Portuguese squad, Billy T. No, he's never played for the Portugal senior team. He played in he's played in all the youth teams, but he hasn't played for the national team yet. I think number 10 for Uruguay has been terrible, Aaron. You're right. Poor crosses as well as that poor first touch. I can't pronounce his name. De Arascota. That was probably about right, actually. I don't know where he plays. I don't think he plays in Europe. Kopic is asking a question in the live comments. He says, hi people, from which country are you coming from? So if you want to tell us in the live comments where you're watching from, it's always very interesting for everyone in the live comments. And me personally, I'm nosy like that. Five minutes till half time. I've been impressed with Egypt. I think if they can get Salah on, they can win this. So what are your thoughts on this? Well, we've still got 4 minutes till half time. We might get a goal, but it's looking very much like it's going to be a 0-0 first half. Our first one of the tournament, although it is only the second game. Has the game been any good, says K Martins? I've enjoyed it I've enjoyed it because I think Uruguay have struggled. I think Uruguay defensively have been very good. They've knocked the ball about very well, but they've come up against an Egypt team that's surpassed my expectations. I thought Egypt could win this, but I thought Uruguay were the favourites. But what I've been impressed by Egypt is their work rate and their organisation is very good, and when they get on the ball, they're good as well. So I think it's made it a very interesting game. We might, still a long way to go. We might get a bit of a shock in this game, and that would be great to get a shock so early on in the tournament, because you get a shock early on and it tends to reverberate through the rest of the tournament, which is a good thing. It gives everybody confidence. All those underdogs suddenly think at it and go, oh, look what Egypt have done. Especially teams like Nigeria and Senegal, who are from that region. They'll think, well, look at that, they've beaten Uruguay. And Uruguay are obviously one of the better South American teams, so it would be good. A chance here for Egypt to put a cross in. Oh, get it away. Oh, couldn't get it away. Cross came in from Fahy. He's going to put another one in. He's got quite a decent cross on him, actually. That was crap. Sorry. Kiss of death there. Sorry. Qatar Man 96 says, if England play Egypt at some point, do you think Southgate will put Young on Salah? Uruguay are on the attack here. Cavani on the back post. Decent cross. No, headed away. And Egypt will complete the clearance. I don't think we'll see Salah at half time. I think we'll see him in the second half at some point, but I don't think he'll come on at half time. Happy Eid, Mark, says Mohammed. Well, happy Eid to everybody who is celebrating that today. And if Portugal win the World Cup, would Ronaldo be considered the greatest of all time, says Veli Southwood? I think he'd have to be, wouldn't he? Because I don't think Portugal winning the European Championships. I've seen Portugal do that twice in my life. No, I haven't. They lost, didn't they? Greece beat them in the final. Was that 04? Was that Greece 04? It must have been, yeah. Yeah, but if Ronaldo, if Portugal were to win a World Cup, you'd imagine to do that Ronaldo would have to be fundamental to that. I'd like Portugal's another team I'd love to see win the World Cup as well. Of course, they've never won it, have they? So, yeah, that's where my boat's firmly sailing this World Cup. I want to see somebody win it who's never won it before. Of course, Uruguay have won it before. They won it quite a lot in the early days of the World Cup. I think they've won it twice. I never understand how England didn't win more World Cups when this tournament started in, I think it started in the 30s, didn't it? I mean, England was always like the inventor of the game. And then we're crap at it. How can you invent a sport and then be terminally shit? You invent a sport and you only win the World Cup once. It's just amazing. K United, do you think Mourinho will become Portugal manager? I think he said himself he wouldn't be ready to do it just yet. Billy T, do I rate Henderson? Bang average in my opinion. Jordan Henderson's crap, yeah. Egypt on the attack here. We've only got about 15 seconds left of this half. So, see, Uruguay, very, very good defensively. Blocks the shot. That should be the end of the half. Quality in the final third for Egypt, you see. Problematic. Hamed's just gone down injured there. He's played it on. We've gone past a minute, but this could be an opportunity for Uruguay just to do something just before the end of the half. Godin's part of the attack, and that is half time. That is half time, everybody. So, 0-0. Hamed's still down for Egypt. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. But an intriguing half is what I would say. An intriguing half of football. And one where Egypt will be very, very happy with themselves. I tell you what, the game plan's working. Stephen Willock says, has Jose coached Uruguay? They're as boring as United. And yeah, that's they are a little bit, aren't they? Very, very, very good at the back. But not a lot going on up front. Quality, final third quality for both teams is the issue here at the moment. And what of Uruguay don't have the options on the bench that Egypt do. So Egypt will be taking a lot of confidence. Let's have a look at the live comments. Croatia are an underrated team, says James Sullivan. Looking forward to watching Croatia tomorrow night against Nigeria. They've got some very, very good players, and I think when you actually watch them, you'll see how many players you recognise there. So they've got a good set of players. Dull half, but somehow found it interesting, says Flipper. Probably because you're watching That's Football and interacting with everybody. I think that's what helps you through these sort of games. Imagine if you just sat and watched that half on your own. You'd probably want to give up on the World Cup. But I think as a tactical battle with the live comments going on, it's great. I'm enjoying it. Please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. We're doing every single World Cup game on That's Football. So we've got watch-alongs, 2 more after this one. Morocco, Iran, which is at 4 o'clock. I think the link to that video, that stream, is the eye in the top right-hand corner. And also, we're doing Portugal, Spain at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock tonight. And we're also doing the 4 games tomorrow as well. We're doing them all. Egypt have been all over Uruguay first half. People have underestimated Egypt, says Ricardo Fidalgo. Yep, just quality in the final third, which maybe they could get on with Salah. I mean, Suarez should have scored that chance that I thought we were trying to figure out why it had been disallowed, because it looked like it went in the goal. It hit the side netting. It was a great chance. He should have scored that. I'm good at football, yes, Kay. I'm getting on a bit now. Zidane tipped Asensio to be as good as Messi and to show it at the World Cup, says Guitarman96. Let's see what Spain do tonight. I think Spain will win tonight, but I do want Portugal to win, if I'm honest, even though De Gea's in goal for Spain. It was terrible, Mark. You are right. If somebody found this half good, it will be thanks to United Stand, says Dean Kazaboff. That's football. And I'm not having a beer today. I'm not having a beer for this one, Joe. It's a little bit early for me, and I've got to drive after this game and do a couple of chores, so I can't really have a drink, because once I start, I can't stop. Not that I have a drink problem, but I would like to have a couple of beers, so I am waiting a little bit today. Tomorrow, different story. I don't know whether I'll start as early as 11 o'clock, though. Shout out to all the Egyptian viewers, says Ahmed Mohammed. If we have got Egyptians in here, you're doing very, very well. Very, very well. I've got my fingers crossed, just because I'm a lover of football, really. Nothing against Uruguay, but in this game, I'd love it if Egypt won. I think it would be brilliant for the tournament if Egypt got a win. As I was saying in that first half, it would be really, really good for the tournament to get a surprise so early on. So, yeah. Ding, 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 ding. I suppose the big question is, when do we think Salah's going to come on? What do you think? What minute? Do you think he might come on at half time? Do you think he'll come on at all? They might just... It's an interesting one, because depending on how injured he is, if you know he's going to be fit enough to play the next game, which is a big game against Russia, do you think, let's get Salah on and try and win this, or let's not get Salah on and not use him at all and try and get a point? It's an interesting one. They're going to have to beat Russia on Tuesday night, aren't they, Egypt? So that's whatever happens, unless they win today. But I personally think fortune favours the brave. Salah's injury is not anything to do with his legs. It's to do with his arm and his shoulder. So I would I would think about getting him on. But of course, one thing we must consider about Salah is that he's playing Egypt. He plays for Egypt, but he's playing Uruguay. What are Uruguay traditionally known for? Being a very physical team. And also, he's up against very experienced defenders in Godin and Jimenez, who will probably think nothing of giving him a few shoulder barges on there. So that's the thing. In training for Egypt, no one's going to really hurt him, are they? But in a game like this, he's going to have to be a little bit careful. Sander's just got in. He says, how's it been? Hello, Sander. He's warming up for his games a bit later. It's been a tactical battle, is what I would say for anyone who's joined us at half time. Very tactical battle, but Egypt have been very, very impressive. They've gone to. I mean, yes, the best chance of the half fell to Suarez, and he should have scored it. But apart from that, you pretty much say a very, very even half. Egypt have given as good as they've got, and the impressive thing about Egypt is defensively they've been very, very well organised. We expected that from Uruguay. And Uruguay have got some very good players, but Egypt have gone toe-to-toe to them. And let's not forget, a lot of these Egyptian players don't play in Europe. They're playing not in the top leagues. A few of them do, but a lot of them don't. So the quality in the Uruguay squad is better than that in the Egypt squad. So you can't underestimate that. You can't underestimate that. Ronaldo's been sentenced to 2 years and a fine of 18.8 million. Not going to prison, though. That might be the thing that pushes Ronaldo out the door. Yeah. He won't go to prison for that because I think you've got to go for less than... let's have a quick look. Let's find somewhere where we can get some definitive answer on this for you. He won't be going to prison. Easiest thing to do is just type in Ronaldo. There we go. Okay, here we go. Cristiano Ronaldo has been handed a 2-year sentence and agrees €18.8 million fine. Cristiano Ronaldo has reached an agreement with the Spanish tax office to pay €18.8 million after failing to comply with tax laws. He's also been handed a 2-year prison sentence. However, he will not go to prison as he has no previous criminal record. Ronaldo is hoping to pay a further fine in place of the suspended sentence. So more to follow on that. I think a similar thing actually happened to... what's his name? Messi. So, yeah. De Gea has never and will never do a Karius. I don't know what you're on about Egypt versus Russia. It all says Egypt versus Uruguay as I am concerned. Sam Howe said that Ronaldo should be banned from football. Well, they didn't do it to Messi. Robert Ingram says, is Suarez injured? He does look a little bit... He doesn't look great. A lot of people have said that. He does look a little bit rusty. He certainly should have scored that chance, but they're going to have to improve a lot in the second half, aren't they? Just doing a little bit of housekeeping because it's half time. I'll be back with you very, very shortly. Yeah, I do agree though. A lot of people are talking about it in the live comments that it is going to be intriguing to see what Egypt decide to do in relation to the second half and Salah. Do you bring him on? Do you not bring him on? Personally, I'd go for it. That's what it's all about, isn't it? You know, tournament football as well. I think it's always a danger to be pragmatic. I think in a tournament such as this, you've got to be thinking on the front foot. You've got to be thinking about what the potential issues are if you don't go for it. And you know, Russia are the host nation. It's going to be a difficult game for Egypt on Tuesday night, and if Salah coming on can get you an unexpected result here, all the better. All the better for it. All the better for it. Suarez's last World Cup, says Sam Howes. Salah, if Egypt lose, yes. Suarez is just craving a bite. That's all, says Buys Coins Jeff. And what's going on the United Stands Syndicate? Has it been, as I've had my money back? Let me know, cheers. Don't want to keep posting. Og! Yeah, so what happened with that is we had a cash out option, which is what we took, but I've had to query it with them because I only wanted to cash out 50%. So basically, because yesterday Russia, the result went our way on the syndicate, so there's 6 results we need, isn't there? So I think today we needed either 2-0 to Uruguay or 4-0 or better. So there was an option to cash out 50% of our fund, which we did this morning, but it seems to have cashed out the whole lot. So I need to find out what's happened with that. But obviously we're live at the moment. So having said that, I'll keep quiet if it stays 0-0 because we needed 2-0 or higher than 4-0. So if it's cashed it all out for us, we might be in a good position. But if not, I'll have a word. I'll have a word. So, people who are tuning in about Ronaldo, just because it's half time, Ronaldo's been given an £18 million an £18 million fine and a 2-year prison sentence, which is suspended, which apparently he's going to try and pay a further fine to stop that. I mean, the interesting thing about that for me is whether that will be the thing that pushes Ronaldo out of Spain and out of Real Madrid, because he wasn't very happy about this hanging over him last season. Will he do that now? I don't know. Oh, thank you, Daniel. So it was on there. Sorry about that. Second half is coming up very, very soon. I'm just having a scan of your live comments. Good job, Mark, says Trap King. Thank you. And I don't see why Salah isn't playing. It's a shoulder injury, says Michael Richards. If he's fit from a shoulder injury, surely that means 100%. It's not a collarbone or rotator cuff. I think they might just be a little bit worried about the physicality of Jimenez and Godin because they'll whack into him, and if he's not totally and utterly happy with it, then that could be a problem, I suppose. Prashu, I've just read your comment. Marcus just says, can you explain the Ronaldo thing? Yeah, quite easy, really. Just looking at that Phil Neville tackle on Ronaldo. Bloody nasty little sod, wasn't he? In his Everton days, on Ronaldo in his United days. So Ronaldo's been given a 2-year prison suspended sentence, so he won't be going to prison because he can pay the fine. He's also been given an 18 million fine, and it's to do with taxes, isn't it? That's the issue with Ronaldo. He can easily pay that. Messi had a very similar thing, didn't he? So he can pay it. It's just whether it will push him out of Spain or not. Players are coming out for the second half. And no changes for Egypt yet. I didn't expect them to do the change at half-time anyway, but hopefully we'll see, just for the good of the tournament, it'd be nice to see a bit of Suarez in the second half. Still no VAR, says Flipper. Yep, good. And Spain need the money, but they never take money from players that are from there. Only foreigners. Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, says Brandon B. Interesting point. And Mark, could you try commentating audio from the game for us to hear? Try to get commenting audio. I can't do that. You can't do that, I'm afraid. You can't do anything like that. It's illegal to do that. So we can't show you, and we certainly can't give you audio of the game. Uruguay look lost, lack a leader in midfield like us, says Science Lover. Please do drop a like on the video, everybody. We have got quite a few dislikes on the video for people who clearly don't understand what a watch along is. So please do drop a like on the video. And I'm just about to start the timer for you now. Salah looking nothing like he's ready. Waiting on the ref. So, are we going to get the shock, or will Uruguay sort themselves out in this second half? We're away for the second half. Good, good. Come on, Uruguay, win it for my bet, says Matthew. I bet there's a lot of people who... I've not had a bet on the World Cup actually yet. But there's a lot of people who've got Uruguay. A lot of people do accumulators, don't they? So I would imagine Russia winning yesterday helped a lot of people out. But yeah, a lot of people will have gone for Uruguay. I went for Uruguay 2-1 in my Super Brew predictor. So if anyone's playing that predictor, let us know what score you went for, actually. Be interested to see if anybody went for a draw or even an Egypt win. Egypt just need to keep the discipline of the first half. Cavani. Here we go. Oh, how did Suarez miss that? Great save by the keeper. Shrugged off the pass from Cavani to get into a one-on-one situation. Shoots, and I have to see this back because it ends up flying back across the penalty box. So it has to be a save. Yeah, Cavani picks it up. Lays it into Suarez. It's a good ball. And from there, great save with the keeper. Makes himself big. And I think it's his right knee. Yeah. Makes himself big. And as Suarez shoots across the goal, it's the keeper's knee. Good save. Suarez can't really do a lot more than that. But he probably should have had two goals there. Josh O'Connor predicted 2-1 to Egypt. As did Pankaj. Great save, says Kato Ellis. Come on, Egypt, says the new Moez Media. Egypt a bit on the back foot here, though. That should have been 1-0, Suarez. So in both halves, he's had two chances where he should have scored. So as well as Egypt have done, let's not beat about the bush. It should be 2-0 to Uruguay. Salim can't wait for the Spain-Portugal game. How many of you... I take it you're all going to be watching it with us on That's Football, on the watch-along, getting involved in the live comments as ever. How many of you are actually going to watch Morocco-Iran? Come on, you've got to go. You've got to go for the hat trick. If you've watched this one, you've got to watch Morocco-Iran at 4:00. Steve Foz has gone for a 1-1 draw, and Tyler Cole said, "Told you, Uruguay is second half is going to be their time." And James Sullivan said the same. Uruguay 2-0. They'll perform in the second half. So football's always a game of two halves. It's a cliche, but it's true. Matthew's going to watch it. Iran versus Morocco. I think that's going to be a decent game. Tyler's watching it because he's got a bet on. It's Xander's debut as well, Morocco versus Iran. So make sure you support him on the channel. And that's football. We're going to do every single watch along on this channel, which is going to be some effort, I tell you. I'm excited for Brazil on Sunday, says Ed Woodward. Brazil, Switzerland. I think I'm doing that one. I need to check my diary on what I'm doing, but yes, I don't think I've got Germany, Mexico, which is the one I did want to do that. But I will be watching it, but I think Xander might be doing that. I'm doing the England one, Ed. Yes, Xander's not an England fan. He's Dutch. So yeah. Rest in peace, Dirty Den, says Fred Flintstone. Leslie Grantham, yeah. That's obviously been news while we've been live. Ben Johnson says he can just see a Salah winner here. We'll just keep an eye on the bench because I think Egypt are about to make a substitution, but it's not actually for Salah. It's something else. It's a different substitution to that. So I don't know. Keep your eye on it. They might just think it's not worth risking him. Substitution then. Morsi comes on, number 5. Morsi. It's all Egypt. It's not all Egypt. It's all Uruguay at the moment. You've got to hold and give. Here we go. Egypt's got a chance here. Can he get it across? Oh, Godin. Should have gone himself there. Trezeguet. He had a sort of 2-1 situation and he tried to play the pass to get the player in on a one-on-one, and I think he should have gone himself. Godin was way too experienced for that. You're going to have to do something a little bit special if you want to beat this Uruguayan side. Because the thing is, Uruguay can play as good or as bad as they like, but they're still going to have a very, very good defence, aren't they? Yeah. You got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line. I'm England, England. We're singing the song. Singing for England. I'll leave a duchy, it's one-on-one. K United said, "What's that prediction thing called?" It's called. The link's in the video description. If you want to play our, we'll be going on through the World Cup. Obviously, you've missed the first 2 games, but it's Russia, Saudi Arabia was the first game, and this is Egypt, Uruguay. But the link's in the video description. It's free to play. It's through Super Brew. If you use the link in the video description, that will put you into our. It's called the United Stand World Cup Predictor League, but basically we're doing it with this channel as well. And it's not too late to enter. So yeah, the link's in the video description to do it, because the reason I say it's not too late to enter is because if you get a correct score, so like if somebody said 5-0 yesterday, they get 3 points. If you just said 2-0, you get 1 point because Russia did win. But a lot of people won't, unless Uruguay win this, a lot of people won't get a point today because a lot of people went for Uruguay to win. So even if, and there's going to be so many games, it won't matter if you've missed 1 week. one game. So if you fancy playing the Predictor League, get involved in it. We'll start showing the league from tomorrow because there'll have been 3 games by then. At the moment, there's just loads of people with the same sort of points. Joshua says that the coverage of the World Cup in Australia is awful. That's a bit odd because you are actually in the World Cup. I would imagine if Jared's still there, if we've still got people from America, I imagine it's not great there. The MLS is still going on, isn't it? I've seen that. Hey, look, if you want to take me on in the Predictor League, I'm in there, Mark Goldbridge. If you think you can beat me, good luck. Egypt's just keeping hold of the ball a little bit here. 55 minutes gone, so 10 minutes of this half. Are we going to see a bit of Salah? I think if Egypt are going to win this, they're probably going to need Salah. Otherwise, their ceiling is probably going to be a draw because Uruguay's defence is just not... It is very good. Cup of tea. Kieran Burns says, is everybody watching Iran versus Morocco? Just drop a like on the video if you are. Trezeguet looks very decent, but a bit raw, says Mr. ASG. It's hard to tell what Uruguay are missing, and I meant to say this at half time. Let's not forget... Oh, here we go. Uruguay. What's he doing? What's he doing? Number 21. Trezeguet. Yeah, he looks a bit raw, doesn't he, there? Decent shot. But it's hard to know what Uruguay are missing, but also, let's not forget, it's the first game of the tournament. Teams aren't going to hit the first game running. Some will, some won't, but... Josh O'Connor, what do you think of the pundits for ITV and BBC? Well, if they've got a Neville each, which I think's always a good thing. Gary Neville's a good pundit. I always find Ian Wright okay on ITV. I think he's animated, and especially for the England games, I like that somebody who shows a bit of passion. I think Shearer, most of the time Shearer's a bit boring, but when England do well or badly, he does speak quite well. Genus, I don't get what people are on about with Jermaine Genus. He doesn't do it for me. And hopefully we'll see a bit of Roy Keane on ITV. I like him. He's good, this Trezeguet, for Egypt. He's really come into the game this second half. I quite like the look of that Ward fella as well, 22. Looks a bit like El Nini with his hair, but see, final ball from Egypt is terrible. They've got all the passion and endeavour, but they just haven't got that quality. You just feel that the quality of Uruguay is going to shine through at some point. Ian Wright's on US coverage. Yeah, that happens quite a lot. I mean, wherever you're watching it, if you've got pundits from England as well, let us know, because it's not unusual for these pundits to be doing jobs for other as well. I mean, Mourinho's doing it in Russia, isn't he? I don't know how. Matthew Upson, I thought I'd seen him, Douglas. God knows why. Why would you have Matthew Upson? Substitution here for Uruguay. Number 8 coming off, which is Nandez of Boca Juniors. And I was hoping we were going to see Torreira, who's the lad that Arsenal are after, but it's Sanchez coming on. Mini Diver, I like Wright, he speaks the truth. I thought it was a bit of a shame, actually, what happened between Colin Moore and Ian Wright on Twitter, and how it was all about, I just think, one, why are you doing that on Twitter? And two, I've got a lot of time for both people, so I don't really like to see that. Chris Sutton is irritating, Mini Diver, yeah. Kieran Burns says, we've got a shower of clowns on RTE, which is Ireland, some woman and Kevin Doyle. Don't you normally have, what's his name though? Johnny Giles and Eamon Dunphy. Liam Brady. Robert Ingram thinks that England are going to walk all over Tunisia and Colombia. Well, we're not playing Colombia, we're playing Panama, but we might play Colombia in the knockout stages, so maybe that's what you're on about. Dembele's going to Arsenal, says Tyler Cole. Ousmane Dembele. I can't see that happening now Barcelona haven't got Griezmann. They must have something big planned. Just read on Twitter somebody saying this game's been so bad I'm actually looking forward to Morocco v Iran. Yeah, I think everybody watches football a little bit differently, don't they? Because I don't mind this. I mean, if I was sat on my own watching it, I'd probably be a little bit like, whatever. But because we've got the interaction and everything like that, I'm just enjoying that really, and I'm just hopeful that we might just see an Egypt goal. I think if an Egypt goal goes in, this game becomes a cracker. What I have seen is that Arsenal are reportedly going to sign Jean-Michel Seri of Nice, who Chelsea had been linked to. But I'd also heard that Seri was going to Napoli. So, and I know they have a manager with this very similar name, but it was definitely Jean-Michel Seri. Celtic have splashed some cash to buy Odosson Edouard's move from PSG. Why he's gone to Celtic then, I don't know. Don't know. Half an hour to go in this. We need to see a bit of Salah, don't we? Get Salah on. Matthew McFadden says, Jean-Michel Seri is decent from the 0 games I've seen of him. Yeah. And Edward Wood says, fair play to Iran making it to the World Cup. I think they have been in the World Cup before, though, haven't they, Iran? I'm sure they have. Another substitution. It's not Salah for Egypt. It's number 11. DJ Dale B says, I think the African nations changes to June in 2019. So number 9, Mossan's coming off, and number 11 is coming on for Egypt. Looks like a different sort of player. 9 looks a little bit more like a physical player, whereas this lad looks like he's got a little bit more pace about him. Yeah, Chelsea will sack Conte very soon, says Sanjay. I imagine if you're Antonio Conte, it's Caraba who's coming on. If you're Antonio Conte, you're in a fantastic position, aren't you? Because you know you're going to get a massive payout very, very soon. Chelsea, I keep saying it on this channel, because I wouldn't say it on the United stand, because that's our Manchester United channel. But I keep saying it on this channel. Everyone keeps going on about Arsenal and, well, they've got a new manager and they're going to buy players. But they haven't got the money. Chelsea are going to get a new manager and have money. I think you could see maybe a Higuain or an Icardi going there. Good. Defensively, Egypt have been very, very good. And Hegassi from West Brom has been fantastic for them. Very, very good. And he just blocked out another cross there. So that's one thing that we should bear in mind in this game, is that Egypt defensively probably haven't got the credit that they deserve. They've been very, very good defensively. Is he going to... He obviously doesn't want to put Salah on, does he? And I agree with a lot of people saying his injury is an arm injury or a shoulder injury. It's not a fitness in relation to his legs, so why are they not doing it? Poor standard this, says Ben Johnson. Bring on Portugal v Spain. I don't think it's a poor standard. I think if this was Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, it'd be 4-0 to Uruguay. I think the problem that Uruguay have got is that Egypt are better than a lot of people thought they would be. And they're cancelling each other out. Even a draw would be very interesting for this group. If you think about it, Russia would be rubbing their hands. If Russia could just get another win. Oh, I'm not bothered about my Super Brew score. I went 2-1 to Egypt, 2-1 to Uruguay. So yeah, I get the bonus if that happens, but I'd much prefer a shock. Uruguay on the attack, good block. Suarez again. No, it's not Suarez. He's in the box. They've got everybody back now, Egypt. Well, the Egyptians are loving this. I've got no pedigree of what Egypt were like before this, so I don't know whether this is they're playing above or below, whatever. Well, they're not playing below their standard. Anthony Muller says this game is getting quite interesting, which it is. It is. Who you got, says Kevin Burr. De Gea or Ronaldo? Look, I love De Gea. Fantastic player. Manchester United, brilliant. But I want Portugal to win. I do. I want Portugal to win. I don't like Spain. Apart from De Gea, I don't really like Spain. I find their football really boring. I know it's effective, but boring. Tam Trainer says the Egypt fans are amazing. This is the brilliance of the World Cup, though. You've got one of the best teams in South America going up against a team from Africa who not many people would have fancied. And after 65 minutes, yeah, Suarez should have scored 2 goals. But apart from that, the standard is pretty much the same. And this is brilliant. I said this in the preview for the World Cup. I thought teams were going to be a lot closer in ability than Higashi again with a brilliant interception. It would have been a superb ball through to Cavani and he would have been one-on-one, but he slid and cut it out. But yeah, I think that what we are going to see, probably not big enough to see a swing in the winner, but I think what we hopefully are going to see in this tournament, and I want to see it, is a narrowing of the gap between the top sides and the perceived lesser sides. And I think we've already seen that in the 66 minutes here. It's a lot closer to Egypt and Uruguay than some people maybe would have thought. And they haven't even got Salah. I think if this had been Egypt against Uruguay 10, 20 years ago, Uruguay probably would be 2 or 3-0 up. But the ability, a lot closer. Egypt on the attack here, into the box, number 11, cross. Not quite a corner yet. Won't be a corner either. That's so hard to break down though, Uruguay, that's the problem. Over 700 people watching, which is fantastic. Please do drop a like in the video if you're enjoying the World Cup watch-alongs. This is our second one. First of 3 today. We've got Iran versus Morocco at 4 o'clock. Literally, we'll be starting that in about an hour's time. And obviously, we've got Spain versus Portugal tonight, 7 p.m. UK time. So if you're planning on watching a lot of World Cup games, subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. We'll be live with every single one of them with the live comments, interacting with you lot. So great to have you all with us again. Really enjoying it. And yeah, we've not had any goals in this game, but it's an intriguing game. And for Egypt, a point would be absolutely fantastic as well. And as I said yesterday, is anybody planning on trying to watch every single game? Because if you are, this is the place to be. I think I will be able to watch every single game. As somebody said yesterday, the third group stage game, they kick off at the same time. All 4 teams kick off at the same time. But I've got a monitor there, and I'm going to get a monitor there, so I will be able to keep an eye on all the games, which is great. Emmanuel Geshin says the game is setting up for a Salah winner. Oh, I don't know why I did that noise. Oh, Oh, I'll do that. If it sounded like Gary Neville when Torres scored that goal in the Nou Camp. I will make that noise if he comes on and scores. They've only got one substitute left, Egypt. Interesting to see if they use it for Salah. Thanks, Kunal. In the UK, it's on free view, so it's I think yesterday's game, Russia Saudi Arabia, was on ITV, which is and this is on the BBC. And I'm sure wherever you're watching from, you'll have heard of the BBC, which is the British Broadcasting Corporation, which has been around for years. It's a free channel as long as you pay your TV licence, which is about a tenner a month. So we get it free, the World Cup. Premier League we don't. You have to pay for like Sky Sports and things like that. But the World Cup and the Euros and Wimbledon and things like that, they're on the BBC. And ITV is just basically, when I was a kid, you had 4 channels. You had BBC, BBC Two, ITV and Channel 4. And that was all you had when I was a kid. No satellites, nothing like that. 4 channels. So Channel 1, 2, 3 and 4. ITV is Channel 3. Nowadays, you've probably got about hundreds of channels, haven't you? Anyway, corner. Godin in the box. Cavani shoots. Can he get it away? Suarez, good block. And handball against Cavani. It wasn't Suarez who shot. It was Caceres. Oh, it was Cavani in the box. Shoots and it hits Caceres on the arm. And the referee gave it. Good defending again by Egypt. Miko Cullinan's got his certificate today. Well done, pal. I lived in Ireland. I think that's like your leaving certificate, isn't it? You call it your cert or something like that. Well done, mate. Just Sheldon says the World Cup is free for everyone in the world. I don't know whether it is just Sheldon. I'm sure some people yesterday were saying that they don't get it or they have to pay for it. So Flynn Shaw says in America every game's on Fox. Joel Morris says this game's going to end 0-0. Be a great point for Egypt. Oh, it was a great chance for Egypt. Well, it wasn't, but it was a good bit of work by Ward, who I've been very impressed with for Egypt. And he puts the cross across. It's just behind one Egyptian and just ahead of another and drops to a Uruguayan. Shame. Bit end to end now in the last 20 minutes. I hope, or I'm intrigued to see if Egypt can create a chance, a good chance. They've had a couple of speculative shots that haven't come to anything, but I'm intrigued to see if they can actually create a chance. Like Suarez has had a couple of chances that he probably should have scored. Can Egypt create that chance, and then can they take it? Ishan says Fox Sports costs money in America. Good tackle. Egypt's trying to catch Uruguay on the break. That's a good ball, that is. Switches it out. To Al Said. Oh, come on. That's late on Said. And a good shot. Has he played... It was a good shot, that was, from number 7, Fahy. I don't think he should have played advantage there. I think it was a foul. The Uruguay player took out the Egyptian, and because it rolled on and they had a shot on goal, ref played advantage. I'd have took it back. It was a speculative shot. Kunal says it's an exciting game now because both teams are going for it. It is good to see as well because in the context of this group, because Russia have won and because they won 5-0, that's like an extra point to Russia. So these teams will be like, well, a draw to us, it doesn't quite put Russia through, but it puts them in a good situation. Here we go. Suarez. Brilliant goalkeeping because Suarez wanted to take a tumble there and he knows it. And I'm so pleased the goalkeeper got there. Suarez sort of bundled his way through. Keeper comes running out on the 6-yard box. Suarez goes round him to try and get the penalty and the keeper grabs the ball. And you just know Suarez in this situation is going down like Mr. Tumble. He does. He's waiting for it. He's even leaving his legs in there to get the penalty. And the keeper does fantastically well. Watching it back on slow-mo. Suarez, little dribble. He wants it past the keeper. And then he wants to leave his feet in there. But the keeper grabs it. Brilliant bit of keeping. Come on. Good. Well done. Adam Leahy says, why didn't he shoot? Because Suarez's only thought there is, I want to get a penalty. I think Egypt's keeper, like Joel Morris says, has been very, very good today. Very, very good. I think some keepers who play for the lesser nations, they don't look like keepers. They don't look like they've got the, the agility and everything like that. This lad looks like he's got the package, to be honest. Well, if you don't like Suarez, today's been a good game so far, but there's still 20 minutes for him left for him to do it. Salah's still not on TVXN, no. 15 minutes. I don't think they're going to do it, are they? I think they're going to try and get the points and leave Suarez another 4 days. Yeah, he's not coming on. He's sat on the bench. Big risk that by Egypt, because I think you bring Suarez on, you could win this game. Uruguay are pushing for the winner. You get Salah on the break, you might get something in this, and they're not going to do it by the looks of it, which is fortune favours the brave. I'd get that quality on. There's space in this. Marley, yeah, I agree. It was a great opportunity that for Suarez, and he just seemed to be more focused about getting it around the keeper and diving than actually taking opportunity. And I'm glad that didn't work out for him. I mean, to be fair, in relation to Suarez, talk about golden boot, he probably should have had a couple of goals today. Ivan, yes, Ronaldo can play. It's just a fine and a suspended sentence he can play. I'll tell you what though, Varela used to be at United. He's not done too bad. And a right back for Uruguay. I can tell you what, I think there's going to be another good chance for Uruguay in this last 15 minutes. They're pushing now. And fitness levels will come into this a lot as well, because that's something we haven't mentioned is, yeah, the gap's been closed a little bit in relation to the quality, but all these Uruguay players play at the highest level, a lot of them. Their fitness levels might be a little bit better than the Egyptians, who I don't think even half their team play in Europe. So a lot of them, I think, are domestic. And the fitness levels at that standard will not be at this standard. Good question from Cavan. He says, who are your dark horses to win the tournament? I think it's very, very difficult to, even after everyone's played one game, I don't think you will know what a team's going to be like after one game. I think after the group stage we will. 2 or 3 games is when you start to get a real feel for a team. But so I would still be in the mindset of what I said before the tournament. And here we go, Uruguay. Is he going to get a shot off? No. Passed it to Godin. Godin likes to come forward a lot, doesn't he? He's not kept that in there. He was down the right-hand side. He slided to try and keep it in. But they are sacrificing Godin a lot. They did it in the first half, sending him forward to try and create some spaces. Godin's incredible, says Robson Flood. He's a very, very good player. He's a lot quicker than a lot of people think he is as well. I think it's just because of his hairline and stuff. People think he's slow. Jack Jones, I'm not a minute behind. I'm watching it right in front of me on a good corporation. It may well be YouTube. Well, YouTube does put a bit of a delay on, so what I'm watching is happening as it happens. The delay YouTube are putting up. Canal says that Belgium and France are the dark horses, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, can France really be considered a dark horse? I mean, they've won World Cups and European Championships in recent times. I think with the squad that they've got, France should be one of the favourites, not the dark horses. Having said that, I said Brazil are a dark horse, and people are like, oh, you can't say Brazil are a dark horse, but I think you can. Just because they've won World Cups, I suppose I'm answering the France thing there. I mean, yeah, France can be a dark horse because Brazil are a dark horse. They got absolutely annihilated in a tournament that they were meant to win 4 years ago in Brazil, and they got annihilated by Germany. And yes, Brazil have won tournaments in our lifetime, but that doesn't mean that they're not dark horses. Uruguay have won 2 World Cups a long time ago. I think Brazil are coming back from a position of weakness, and I think they are potentially dark horses, but genuine outsiders, I would say. And I've got to see them play in the context of the tournament. Egypt are in here, down the left-hand side. Got a lot of space in front of him, number 11, into the box. Rubbish. He had 3 Egyptians stacked there on the back post, and he hit the Uruguayan with a pass. Quality in the final third is the problem for Egypt. So people I'd like to see do well. Colombia. Portugal might do well. I think in my predicted, when I did the whole sort of tournament plan, I think Portugal went quite far in it. I think I had them in the semis. So Portugal, Colombia could do well, but they've got a tough group, and then they'll have to play England or Belgium. Serbia, Croatia as a real outsider. I'd love to see a team like that win the World Cup. I'll keep saying it. That would be brilliant. I don't want to see a team win it who's won it before. I think football needs something fresh and new, and a World Cup winner who's not won it before would be great. Veli says, has Suarez put on weight? I think he just doesn't look sharp, does he? I don't know what the situation with Suarez is, whether he was carrying an injury at the end of the season. Of course, the problem with, and we'll have to see how Messi does, Barcelona's season was over, wasn't it? They won the league by Christmas, and then they got knocked out of the Champions League. So, competitively, they probably had their foot off the pedal for a large proportion of the back end of the season, and it's hard to get that foot back on the pedal, if that makes sense. So maybe Suarez is looking a bit rusty, but it is the first game of the tournament, and it's probably his first real competitive game for a number of weeks. So people will grow into the tournament. I wouldn't say on this performance Uruguay aren't going to have a good tournament. I mean, I remember 1990. Egypt's on the attack again here. They're trying to catch him on the break, but the organisation of Uruguay is the problem, and he needs some support here. He gets it. It's Al Nini. You see, final ball just not there. They've got men up here though, and they've still got the ball. Egypt into the last 10 minutes. Into the box. Little turn. Can they get a shot away? What's he doing? Al Neni over the bar. Just can't seem to create that chance. Egypt. And I think it'd be very interesting if they got it. Of course, I want England to win. I'm English, but I never think England can win it, so I don't really include them in it. Hans says Egypt are so bad in the final third. They're very good at getting to the final third, and then it's like they get a nosebleed. They don't know what to do. Douglas said I had a Portugal v Spain semi-final. There you go. Sorry, Brazil versus Portugal. And here's the third Egyptian substitution. So no Salah then. So 8 minutes to go, and I think Egypt are really looking at a point now. It'd be horrible if Uruguay nicked it late on now, but that's the risk Egypt have taken. I think they should have gone for it with Salah. As Gaming for Fun says, if Salah was on the pitch, they would convert one of the opportunities in the last 10 to 15 minutes. They've had opportunities to get at Uruguay in the last 15 minutes of the game because it's been a bit stretched as Uruguay tried to get the winner. I just think if he's fit, isn't he? They should have done it. Oh, what a save. What a save that was from Cavani. Little 1-2 with Suarez, who lays it off to him on the edge of the box. The volley is perfect. The save is fantastic. Suarez lays it off to him with his head, right on the volley. It's one of them volleys you want to hit. He catches it perfectly, and we were about to see the save, and they cut to the corner, which has gone out now. So they should throw us that save again. But I think this keeper's been brilliant today. Absolutely brilliant. Here we go. Suarez nods it. It lands perfectly for Cavani to hit on the volley from the edge of the box. It's a little bit close to the keeper. I think if he gets it a yard closer to the corner, yeah, it's not the perfect volley really. If he's going for the top corner, that's a goal. gives the opportunity for the save, but he has made a good save. Ian Turlington says, funny that the Egypt coach says Salah was 100% fit. Yeah, he's clearly not. He's clearly not. I just wonder what scenario would they have used Salah today? They obviously didn't. They don't want to use him to go and win a game. So would they have used him in a game where they were 1 or 2-0 down? I can't think of a scenario where they would have used him. Corner here for Uruguay. They've got their backs to the wall a little bit here. I think they've made a mistake. I think they should have used him. Sell Romero and buy this keeper. Yeah, we're doing Morocco versus Iran at 4 o'clock, and we're doing Portugal versus Spain at 7 o'clock. So make sure you're getting involved. You're going to build brilliant friendships over the next month on this community that we're building here. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. In fact, is anybody new today? We're meant to ask that. Let us know in the live comments if you're new today. Nothing happens with that corner, and Egypt have cleared it. But let us know if you're new today. If you found the channel today, you're very welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. We're doing every single World Cup watch along, so get involved. And so, you know what? For a 0-0 game, has it really been that bad? And I think if I was sat watching this on my own, I'd probably be like, oh God, I'm putting loose women on. But this is the brilliance of the watch along. We can all just have a chat and keep our eye on the game. And when it gets good, we're focused on the game. And when it's when there's little lulls in it, we can discuss other things. So it's been great. And I think Morocco and Iran will have some goals in it, by the way. Let's have a quick look at my... it's not looking good for my score prediction anyway. I went 2-1. (2-1) to Uruguay I went. Oh, Suarez is away here, but he ain't going to get far. And 5 minutes to go. Douglas has enjoyed this game. I'm just going to have a quick look at what my score prediction was on the World Cup Predictor League that we're doing. Remember, if you still want to play the World Cup Predictor League, you can still do it. There's only been 2 games, and a lot of people will have not gone for a draw in this. So the link is in the video description. It's free to play through Superbrew. That link will automatically, when you've signed up, put you in to our Predictor League, which we're going to be talking about a lot through the World Cup. Once we've had 3 games, so tomorrow morning for the France game, we'll get the league table up on the screen. So you can still sign up. There's so many games you can easily catch up anyway. And I'm just having a quick look at what my prediction was for the games tonight. I know what I did for Portugal versus Spain. I want to know what I did for Morocco versus Iran. I've got nothing for this one. I went 2-1 Uruguay. Oh, late free kick here. It's very close. It's on the edge of the box. Very close, this. It's a chance. Kieran Byrne says, this is a goal, mark my words. I know what, I think it's this is where Suarez might sort himself out. Good chance here for Suarez, right on the edge of the box. Well, Cavani might be taking it, actually. This is where they need your keeper. This is where you earn your money. But this could be the first free kick goal of the tournament. Cavani has to take it, says Midget HD Aviation, and he is going to take it. Suarez under the wall. Well, Suarez ain't going to take it, Cater. It looks like it's going to be Cavani. And it will be tough on Egypt, but I still think they should have brought Suarez on. And I tell you what, the ref's given a proper 10 yards there. Cavani, it's the post. And, oh my life, Uruguay have made a right pig's ear of that. Egypt were watching the free kick. Cavani hit the post. It bounces back to the penalty box. There's about 4 Uruguayans unmarked onside with the keeper out of play because he's dived and missed it. And they make a right pig's ear of it and Egypt clear it. There's nobody there to just tap it into an empty net. So, Uruguay. How that didn't go in. Hits the post, bounces back. There's loads of Uruguayans unmarked with an open goal, and none of them can get on the end of it. So I think on the balance of play, Uruguay probably should have won this now. But fair play to Egypt. Their efforts and perseverance has really shone through here. Another free kick here. It's a crossing free kick. So I don't know what was going on with the Egyptian defence there, Kieran. They just fell asleep. You've got to follow that up. Not the time to be falling asleep. Free kick here from the right-hand side. The cross is going to come in. Hegassi, just go and win it. Go and get your head on it, mate. Something's going on in the middle. Just anybody who's a Manchester United fan, actually, and follows the United stand, we've got a video going up at 3 o'clock, which is 5 replacements. And there's the goal. There's the goal for Uruguay, a late winner, and it's Jimenez who scores it. I think Egypt just fell asleep. You've got subs running onto the pitch for Uruguay, and they've won it late on. Hegassi, I don't know, he just seemed to get caught on his toes a little bit there. That's a shame, that is. It would have been so nice, and it's just, as I said, the symbol of it would have been good for the World Cup if Egypt had got a win, got a draw out of this, and it's a good header. He gets above 2 Egyptians. It's a very strong header, and look at yet again. I mean, if he doesn't get it, Godin's behind it anyway. Gets up very, very well, and the strength of Uruguay is that defence. Egypt have not been able to break that defence down, and then right at the end, the defenders go up for a cross, and he's on the end of it to win it, and that's the strength of Uruguay. Very good goalkeeper, very good centre backs, and that is going to be the strength of Uruguay. And in the balance of play, they probably should have won it. They should have brought Salah on. Why didn't they bring him on? Salah's getting used to crying, isn't he? Yeah, but you know what? I mean, fair play to Uruguay for winning it. There's 5 minutes to be added on here. Fair play for them winning it, but I don't want that to be the story of the World Cup. And it's very early days, but I just, I've seen this for years and years where the stronger team, they huff and puff, and then late on they win it, and the underdog ends up losing anyway. I want to see more underdogs winning, and I mean, it's only the second game. It can still happen quite a lot, but I think Egypt missed a bloody trick. They had opportunities in the last 15 minutes where they could have got where they had Uruguay a little bit stretched, but they have no quality in the final third. You got Mo Salah on the bench. Why are they not using him? Why didn't they use him? But in the end, the quality stood out. Very, very good header from Jimenez. I think him and Godin have been brilliant. They've like I say, Egypt have had opportunities to get at that defence, but they're so organised, and they brought the ball. Godin's brought the ball out from the back and gone on runs forward, and Jimenez gets up for that and wins it. And this is the strength of Uruguay. Very, very, very strong defence, and they'll get a lot of confidence from that. Your first game when you've had to really battle for it, and Egypt, 90 minutes of battling to come out with nothing. I think they've made a mistake with the manager there. And Robert Ingram says, I was right. I was right. Yeah, they just seemed to lose concentration, didn't they, in the last 10 minutes? I mean, even, to be fair, the Cavani one that hit the post probably deserved to be a goal, but when it bounced back off the post, which they've not shown, there's so many Uruguayans unmarked. Where's the Egyptian defence? They just thought they've lost their concentration. And no, I'm not taking anything away from Uruguay. They deserve to get it. And I just feel for Egypt, like Susan says, because it would have been a nice starter for the World Cup for them to get a point. But, that quality did shine through there. And maybe that will happen in the World Cup. Maybe that's going to continue to happen. This could be this could be a quarter-final game between Germany and Colombia. And Colombia could be really good in it. And then right at the end, Germany's experience comes through. Who knows? Lotus Investments. I've already explained this once. The cash out was for 50%. And for some reason, it's cashed out the whole lot. So, as I said in the first half, I was going to email the Colossus and say, why have you done the 100% instead of 50%? Which I can still do, but the reality is we needed 2-0 or 4-0 and above. So, it's 1-0 at the moment. So, it would be sort of stupid to say, why have you cashed out 100%? When we only asked for 50%, because then we've lost the Uruguay thing anyway, because we needed it to be 2-0. Unless Uruguay score again in the next 30 seconds, in which case I will be sending the email. So JC011 says Uruguay didn't deserve it. Oh, cross coming in from Egypt there. I'll be stunned if Egypt could actually create anything in this second half. Oh! Let it go for a corner. Let it go for a corner. No, he's not. He's going to keep it in. Cross coming in. They'll never score from a cross against this lot. Oh, shot. There, that's it. That's it. Suarez diving again for a free kick right at the end. And it's a yellow card as well. He's booking him. I don't think he even did anything. Top right-hand corner, there's an eye. That will take you to the link for our Morocco versus Iran watch-along. We've got over 800 people watching here. I hope you're going to keep continuing to watch the watch-alongs with us for all the World Cup games. Iran versus Morocco is coming up in just over an hour's time. We'll probably be live a few minutes before that, so join us for that. And then Portugal versus Spain tonight, 7 o'clock. France, Australia tomorrow morning at 11, and another 4 games tomorrow. So do get involved. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and keep getting involved. Really, really enjoying it. And it's great to be able to be interacting and chatting, because if you're sat at home watching Suarez there, you're probably biting something like he would. But, seriously, it's good to have the chat. It's good to have the interaction, and really, really enjoying it. So keep getting involved. Keep watching. I think Morocco will win as well, Nitel. But I have got a point from a predictor. I did say 2-1, so I will get a point in Super Brew for Uruguay winning. But I would have been much happier if Egypt had got a result. And also, at 3 o'clock on the United Stand, we're about to put a video up at 3 o'clock, which is top 5 replacements for Anthony Martial. So if you're interested in that, keep your eye out on United Stand. In 5 minutes, we've got a video going up on there. See you back here in an hour for Morocco versus Iran. Thanks, everybody, for watching. It finishes 1-0 to Uruguay, 3 points. Feel bad for Egypt, but concentration just disappeared at the end. What a towering header, bullet header it was from Jimenez. Uruguay get 3 points. Egypt lose. No Salah. Salah not used, which was a little bit weird. But Kunal says he's really enjoyed it. I just want to say thanks to everyone in the live comments. You've been fantastic. Thanks for everybody who's been watching. Keep getting involved. We're going to do every game. Xander's doing the next one, so join him. Get involved with it. And I'll see you soon. Let's see what happens in the next game.